Let me call you back. So Janice is out of Canada, and she is a networker. Like she connects people with other people. She's a firehouse is what she is. She's like, if you need to know how to connect with people you're trying to connect with, she's the one to call.
Nice.
Am I freezing up, or are you guys freezing up?
No, it's all good.
It is? Okay, because I keep seeing it. Great proverb. Oh, if you want to go fast. I was like, what proverb is she talking about?
That's my favorite. And it fits me because, you know, I'm from Hawaii, so I just take everybody with me. So
no, there she is. Okay.
So Miles, I'm going to have you, if there's anything in the chat box, I made you co-host. So if you can see anything in the chat box come up, questions, there's questions or anything like that, you'll be able to see it. I can't when I'm doing this.
Okay. And then I think you can go ahead and push play, and if anybody comes on, they'll just have to watch the replay part of it, and I will introduce you to the ones who are on here right now.
Okay, cool. And thanks for introducing everyone to me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So thank you guys for jumping on this call. So the reason that if some of you remember when I've done my collaboration call with you, one of the things that I've asked is if speaking to an international audience or working with women in other countries is something that you have wanted to do, or if you feel like your message is resonating with women on a global platform, and you all have told me, yeah, that's something I would totally love to do. So Mamie is actually a woman that is not only a good friend of mine, but a work colleague of mine. I met her probably 5 years ago now.
5, maybe more.
Maybe more, through a company called Success Resources, which is also where I met Kelly, but Mamie used to work, or she still does, works for Success Resources. And so I saw her at many events and we became friends, and then we did some little business ventures on the side that took us to Boston and New York and some fun things. She is a coach and mentor to women. Her business is Empowerment on Fire. And she introduced me to this organization called Women's Economic Forum. When I first heard about it, it was more, I was going to go with them a few years ago and kind of be their traveling makeup artist and get them all ready for stage. And that didn't end up happening. But since then, the organization has actually had men come in and also do talks on their topics, as long as it involves, you know, the empowerment of women. And so now that I know that, I will definitely be getting on their roster as a speaker, because that is definitely my the audience that I prefer to talk to. So I wanted you all to meet Mamie and hear a little bit about the Women's Economic Forum and how you can get involved with this organization. that's just really going to help you network with women, not only all over the world, but Mamie's kind of one of the leads, or the lead of the USA group of women. And so it's just a really great dynamic group of women to kind of get involved with, because they're kind of doing the same thing we all are. And that's just, trying to get our message out to benefit other people, particularly women. And I thought it was a lot easier to get everybody on one call than to have Mamie take the next 2 weeks off and talk to you one-on-one. So, because she's just getting back from Vegas. She was there for what, a week, 2 weeks?
No, I was only there for 2 days. It was a mastermind I was running.
2 days. Well, before that you were somewhere else. So yeah. So she travels a lot with her business, and so this is Mamie Lamley, and like she said, she is from Hawaii. So a lot of the crews that I've been on with her are always called the Ohana tribe, which is Hawaiian for family. So that's very much in her heart, and I'm going to let Mamie take it from here.
Thank you, Miles. What I wanted to do is just start off with a question that we already asked, but I wanted to see who was actually committed. How many of you have a message that you want to share with the world? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome. And how many of you actually want to speak on an international stage? Thumbs up. Okay, I got them. The wonderful thing that I love about WEF, or Women's Economic Forum, is that it is a catapult for a lot of women who want to share their message with the world. And how that has come about is someone actually believed in me back in 2016 and invited me to go to India, of all places. I had a bucket list and India was on it. And what an easy way to actually write it off, because it was a business, right? And to actually enjoy what I do and also speak my passion into existence. And so it all started for me in 2016. This year, they have switched the focus from India to Egypt. And this is in preparation of our Mission Millions movement that we're working on, where in 2022, our team in the United States has committed to reaching 100,000 women, sharing the ability to speak their passion into existence. How good is that? I mean, if that is something that resonates with you, then whether you join us in Egypt or not doesn't matter. It's the ability to actually join in with a women's movement. We're one of the fastest growing nonprofit organizations in not only the US, but also globally. And the beauty is this: it's nonprofit. It doesn't cost you anything to become a member. You get access to stages around the world. But I want to just let you know, this is not a paid to speak organization. It's a speak your passion organization. So let me tell you a little bit about Women's Economic Forum. Every year we usually have gone to India to actually speak on various topics. This year, instead of doing India, they are going to Egypt. And the beauty is this: the president of Egypt actually is sponsoring, and he has endorsed Women's Economic Forum. And so what they've put together is not just a speaking opportunity, but the president is also going to introduce you to his country. And so what I love also about Women's Economic Forum is that I have been able to meet women from all over the world. We are in 120 countries. There's going to be about 2,000 women attending the Egypt conference. We have, like I said, 150,000 members. We got 500 chapters worldwide. And women from all over the world have made it a point to meet once a year to share. And the goal behind WEF is that they would like to take the invisible efforts of women and make it visible. And for me, that is actually my topic, because I stand for women and servant leaders who want to move from invisible to invincible. And so this is the foundation that I actually built a lot of my organization on. And a lot of people, you know, you go through a lot of speaker training. The beauty is this speaking opportunity can literally take you to a country or to a different part of the United States and speak what you want to share with the world. Just so happened in March, from the 4th to the 9th, they're going to have it in Egypt. It actually is going to be held at the Ritz-Carlton. And like I said, it's not about you going to Egypt. It's about you getting involved with the organization so that we can open that door so that you can speak on various stages. Would that be something that you want to actually partake in? Just give me a thumbs up. Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Egypt, because that one is right around the corner. The theme for the Egypt conference is culture and creativity, creating pathways to peace and prosperity. And what happens is we have speakers who come in, and that is the theme. We have multiple, what we call plenaries, or subject areas that people can actually sign up for. And then they sign up for what we call parallel sessions. So there are sessions going on. I mean, if there's 2,000 people, there's about 300 speakers. So you get to choose who you want to go and listen to and who you want to network with. It's also being sponsored by WEF, and it's being handled by the Works. Anything that we do with WEF, I actually work directly with the founder, and her name is Dr. Harbeen Arora. And for some of you who don't know who she is, she actually was voted the one of the top 100 people in the world that has integrity as part of their notoriety. And that, I believe, was amazing, because this woman, Dr. Harbeen, really sees women. And the first year that I got to go, it was amazing. I met a family from Afghanistan. Imagine this: the brother who believed in his mother and his sister helped them get out of Afghanistan so they could speak at the Women's Economic Forum. They traveled in the trunk of his car because what they were about to do was not kosher in their government. And I got to meet the son, the sister, and the mother. And it was amazing, because for them to be able to attend a Women's Economic Forum in India was priceless. And for them, it was a life-changing ability to share some of the atrocities that they had to go through in order to survive as a woman. So for me, I had that ability to learn from them, network with them, and then actually expand my community of influence, because their stories were so powerful and what they have to go through, priceless. So with Egypt, some of the things that you might want to note is that it is March 4th through the 9th at the Nile Ritz-Carlton. To attend the conference, this is the amazing thing. To attend the conference, you pay for your hotel room, and the fee is $500. And that $500 gets you access to lunch and gala dinners, and it accesses you to 4 different tours that they're doing in Egypt. So not only do you get to hear and interact, and some of you may want to choose to speak, you also get to learn the culture of the country that we actually visit. Is that awesome? You guys want to hear more? Cool. Thank you. Thank you. So Egypt, their motto this year is yes, women can. And we meet women, like I said, from 120 countries. The other thing that also happens when we take women to events like this is we work closely with Dr. Harbin and her team of experts. We also help actually set up photo shoots, because what we do too is we actually take excursions out to find garbs of the country. And when we receive awards, and I forgot to tell you, there are awards, and I can say my track record is this: every woman that I have recommended to the organization for an award has received an International Speaking Award in 3 categories. The first category is Women of Excellence, Iconic Woman Making a Difference in the World, and Women of a Decade. And the Women of a Decade is not easy to get because it is based on what you've done in the past 10 years. And in 2018, and I'll talk more about her later, I was able to actually get one woman to receive that high esteem, and there's only one woman that is given that award once a year. And one of our US citizens actually got it. And it was amazing because she decided to go, I'd say 7 days before we had to take off. So
was that Juliet?
Yes, 97 women said yes to the opportunity to go, and 19 women showed up at the airport. And for the first time in a year, we met for the first time. And all 19 women received one of the 3 awards. And that was an amazing feat in itself. And so let me just tell you what happened after we attended WEF. So for me, I get to live my dream. I got, the first year, I got the Iconic Women Award, and then we got recognized by Dr. Harbin for the efforts we are putting together in America. It's amazing because we have millions of people here in this country, and we are the smallest contingency in representing our country when we do go out to India. And in 2022, we're going to actually be shooting for a record, because we are looking to do 200 to 300 women to attend that conference in India. And that will be the largest contingency ever to attend a conference. And so as when we're done, I'm going to give you a website, and you'll be able to go and take a look at what it's about. And if it resonates with you, I'd be happy to recommend you. So I am really living my dream. I did get an international award-winning award for my speaking. I got named Women of Excellence and Iconic Woman Award. And since then, I have been able to travel. I travel internationally to speak, and I'm now getting invitations for paid gigs to go outside of the US and speak and teach on the platform of moving women or servant leaders from invisible to invincible. You get opportunities to get on international stages with WEF, and for me, I've gotten invitations to speak in Iceland, in Maldives, in South Africa, Switzerland, and in several parts of India. So when we got involved with WEF, all of a sudden, the invitations to speak and get paid now became amazing for me. Okay. In 2018, we put on one of the largest WEF events outside of India, and it was in Los Angeles. And the person who won the award for Woman of the Decade, Didi Wong, she is the one who actually helped us put that together. During the time that we go on our trips, we've put together a team that will help you through the registration process, visa process, passport, hotel, you name it. Admin is actually supported by the team that we've put together. And the beauty is this: a lot of times people think that that's what keeps them from not being able to take that next step. So we take that challenge away and we help you fluidly get introduced to the protocols and the process. We provide mentorship, and that's what I love. WEF is my give back, and it's my give back because I have reaped the benefits of international travel as well as speaking on stage. We also get to provide trainings that maybe some of you can jump in and be the experts. So what we've done is put together teams of women to help us mentor and coach other women. So we get to sharpen the saw as we share the gifts that we have, as well as reap the benefits when we travel internationally. I have a amazing community of like-minded professionals. And so many of the women who go with us and the women we meet become soul sisters. And that is the goal for Dr. Harbeen, is that every woman can count on another soul sister in order for us to succeed together. And then I get to make lifelong learning connections with the world. Like I said, I've begun to actually get invitations to speak and actually get paid for what I do. Let me tell you a little bit about, usually I have a couple of women to talk about what their experiences was. This is Juliet Willoughby. She is a she is an attorney, and she is also the founder of a company called Creating Your Soft Place to Land. And the beauty of this is, when Juliet went to WEF, she went with no preconceived notions. And what she did get was her mom had just passed away. And for her, when someone asked her, Juliet, if we could help you get anything that you would wish for, what would it be that India might be able to do for you? And someone was listening, and she said, my mom passed away, and all I wanted was to meet the Nobel Prize winner. And would you believe, Juliet literally got to meet the Nobel Prize winner in India, and she got an audience of 45 minutes to talk about her passion, which is domestic violence and trafficking, human trafficking. And that 45 minutes was something she could never have had she not gone into India to talk. With Juliet, we also have the ability for her second wish was she wanted to meet Malala. And in actuality, what happened was the person who introduced her to the Nobel Prize winner had a connection to Malala, who currently resides in Canada. And so dreams do come true for a lot of the women that we actually work with. Another woman that we work with, her name is Ro Firestone. Ro went there after 5 days. She decided, okay, I'm in, Mamie. And her platform was why women, when they were going through in vitro, how they could get the support. What she didn't realize is when she spoke in India, someone from Parliament was sitting there. And we did not realize that there is an epidemic in India where, because they have arranged marriages, the stress of having a baby within 3 months was actually taking a toll on the population. And so her story of people who want to have children and couldn't, and they had to go through the in vitro methods, how they could cope when that path was not viable for them. And so she got invited 2 weeks after we were done. She was invited back to Parliament, all expense paid. And so again, another door opened for her. The gal that I was talking about who won WEF Woman of the Decade is Dee Dee Wong. And Dee Dee Wong, amazing. She is actually known for she is a mother of 4. She owns 7 businesses. And when she went to WEF, she was just embarking on her speaking career. And so she got permission to bring her her film crew. And her film crew literally filmed every step of the way what she was going through when she was at the WEF, because this is the first time that Dee Dee had spoken internationally. And once she was done with the WEF, she was literally invited to go on tour with the Think and Grow Rich Asian style this year. And so that's what Dee Dee accomplished. Today, she is traveling the world. She is part of startup TV shows, and she has a successful interior design business. So a mother of 4, and she's spreading the word globally because she took that chance to go and speak in India. And she really said, had she not been able to do that, she's not sure if her speaking career would have taken off. For me, I think she would have done perfectly anyway. And for Dee Dee, again, she was one of the creators of our WEF Los Angeles. And it is at that event where we were able to honor over 30 women with one of the 3 awards that we received when we were in India. How does that sound so far?
So another thing that I wanted to, and I don't know if you already planned on highlighting this, but one of the things that I found most interesting, if you want to go back to that other slide,
sure,
is if you notice on the bottom right, everyone's dressed in traditional garb from. So the first year that they went, they decided to all go out and buy these saris and wear them on stage when they did their presentation. And the women there who were not only in the audience, but who were in charge of the event, were so impressed that the women of America were honoring their dress, that it opened up all those walls that, the minute they saw the first American woman come out and actually dressed like in their traditional garb when nobody else was, they said that they just immediately got respect from people, and people wanted to listen to what they were saying. So now every year that they go, it's like one of the things that they do is they go out as a group and get fitted for whatever the garb is for that. Now it'll be Egypt. That'll be interesting to see what you guys.
Can you imagine? We got ours done in 2 hours. So what we are wearing.
These were custom made saris that they, and they did it in like 2 hours.
Yep. So it was amazing. So the experience, priceless. So we actually do provide experience when we take our women anywhere, whether it's India, Maldives, anywhere in the world that you choose. So you can start wherever you want. You can actually just get in as a member this year, but this is what we're going to provide to you. And this is at no charge. And the reason for that is we want the movement to move forward. Our goal is 100,000 women by 2022 from the United States of America. So we're going to provide mentorship. We're going to actually hold meetings and trainings so that if you decide to go to Egypt, we'll get you on a fast start. We'll also provide checklists. That was the one thing that I found is that checklists, cultural information, what to pack, what not to pack, what to do, what not to do, what to wear, what not to wear. Those were all important for our women to be successful in no matter what country they go to. So in the ability for us to go to Egypt, We have checklists specifically for that country. We also provide you with the ability to do visas online, make sure your passports are all in place. We help you coordinate hotel accommodations with Dr. Harbeen's team, and we also help you choose your topic of selection, your presentation topics, and we actually hold your hand every step of the way to make the experience memorable and successful for each of the women stepping off that plane and into the country that they're going in to speak with. And that is one of the things that we pride ourselves in, is because we have women who will be going to Egypt. Some have never been out of the country, and some have been outside of the country multiple times. And so we have them help us help people get to the event, enjoy the event, and get prepped for the event. We also help provide exposure. This is the one thing that I loved about WEF. We got to meet people from all over the world. And when we got to meet people from all over the world, we literally, if you notice in this, let's see, right here in the middle where it has I'm speaking, can you imagine this stage? Six 14 by 14 screens. It's recorded. You get all of your recordings when you go to any WEF. So they record how you what all of your speeches, and they have professional photographers that you can actually pull down professional photography to use in your sizzle reels and things like that. And you have the opportunity to receive awards as well as speak in breakout rooms. And the breakout rooms may not be as extravagant as that, but they do have setups in the breakout rooms where you're recorded, pictures are taken, and you have the ability to actually access that when you leave the event. So these are just some of the pictures that we were able to get. So this is what we're offering, and this is all without charge. You get access to an exclusive Facebook group, because this is a movement. We'll give you a 1-hour quick start mentoring session. That mentoring session means we'll help you put together a bio, unless you already have one. It's a 150-word bio. You will get mentorship in choosing presentations if you don't already have that. We'll also engage you in training and activities with the group. So what happened was some of our women did not have experience speaking. So we helped them design a signature. They wrote it, they posted it onto our Facebook. We gave them constructive feedback, and then we also gave them constructive feedback after we gave them that info. They went ahead and they did a video, and then we helped give feedback on the video. So by the time they get up there, their signature talk can be actually geared 5 minutes, 15, 30, or even an hour if they are given that time slot. And so it's just a progression of what they're going to be sharing. We'll give you administrative guidance to travel accommodations, visa, and passports every step of the way. You'll get a tribe of women that are of like mind. And if someone needs additional coaching or mentoring, we do have the ability to do one-on-one, and it's a small fee. It's not something that that is exorbitant. It's just a fee to cover the coach that'll be working with you, and we will talk with you one-on-one if that's something that you like. And what we'll do is, once you become a member, you have access to international stages in 2020 and beyond. To date, we have 11 international countries that already has talks ready for people to actually sign up for. And we are working on engaging regional stages here in the United States. So here's some of the just some of the places. It's Madurai, Slovenia, Caribbean, Latin America, which is Colombia, Mediterranean, Peru is where I'd love to go. You'll be able to access this with the link that I'm going to give you. Okay, Mexico City, Argentina, and more information on our 2020 Mission Millions project. Okay, so if you want, you can write down this URL, WEF, I forgot to put this on here, WEF.org.in, which is India. Okay, and I talked a little bit about your presentations on any one of these stages are always recorded, and it's live streamed. So I actually did a presentation on personality science and one on using your heroic voice. It was amazing. It got streamlined out to 70,000 people. India overnight picked up that one section, and then I ended up with 725 hits watching that 45-minute presentation that I actually did. So the exposure, priceless. You get professionals who actually take pictures and then they post it on the website that you can actually download. And there's a possibility when you decide where you want to go, we will actually recommend you for one of the awards so that when you go out internationally, you can come back and say you are an international award-winning speaker. And I know for a lot of women, that's a big deal. Okay.
A lot of speakers in general.
Absolutely. So this is the next steps. If you're interested, doesn't mean you have to go to Egypt. If you're interested, all you need to do is actually complete a speaker form so that we can make the recommendation. We're going to add you to our WEF USA Mission Millions Facebook group. You do have to complete a personality assessment only because that helps us help you in our communication. And we're going to submit the recommendation for you to Dr. Harbin. I have never had anyone that we've recommended be rejected. And I have never had anyone not get an award when they went to an international event. So that, for me, is priceless. You get to choose where you want to start. You want to start in Egypt, or you want to start with one of the other countries, or you just want to become a member for now and then get on the list. You get your bio on the WEF website. So if anyone is looking for your expertise, they'll see you listed in the WEF bio and directory. All of this, no charge. And that is literally what we've got to offer to you. Any questions? That was quick and dirty.
Well, before you go on to questions, I just wanted to add something that one of the things that Mamie does. So her coaching fee, if that's the direction you want to go, Mamie actually helps people put together TED Talks. So she, in one of her other businesses out of the Bay Area, they help speakers formulate and submit their TED Talks. So that's kind of the level of speaking coach that Mamie is. That is completely separate from WEF. That's just if you need additional help, that's one of the things that would be available to you. So some of the Facebook group. So tell us, is there a separate Facebook group for US and for WEF International, or is it just one Facebook group? Or
so the Facebook group that we're actually assigning you in is one here for USA. But with your recommendation to Dr. Harbin, you get put on the international registry. and then you get direct contact from WEF from that point forward. So it's the Facebook that I'm going to put you in is for the U.S. Now I do
and
have
there's
some
just
people.
a lot of influential women on that site, right? Because that's the whole point of all of this, is just to start connecting with other, because many of us are on PBI and we've kind of helped each other to the extent that we can. So it'd be nice to branch out and get involved with other networking groups that are of like-minded people. So that's kind of one of the things that I thought would be very beneficial for all of us, to just broaden our networking with other people who are trying to do the same thing that we are. So,
and that's the thing that I love with WEF. It's a woman helping women, or women influencing other women. And from this one organization, I write internationally. So my articles and my podcasts have been picked up by Business World. And that's someone I met in WEF. They have 1.5 million viewership internationally. And because of that, I now write occasionally for Choice magazine in Las Vegas. And so that's another women's magazine. And Business World actually picked up my podcasts. So I do podcasts also. And so the exposure is priceless. Exposure is priceless. And doesn't cost us anything. And people go, well, how can you do that and not charge? Well, WEF is a nonprofit organization. It's a nonprofit organization solely funded by Dr. Harbeen's foundation in India. Dr. Harbeen is a philanthropist of lifelong learning, and they own a university in India. So I have two women that actually went 2 years ago. They have been picked up by a university in India, and they are now guest professors on that. So like I said, priceless, because the exposure is unbelievable. I noticed there's a lot of...
Yeah, so Tanya asked a couple of questions. Tanya, you can unmute yourself and ask those.
Sure.
I think you can.
Yeah, I'll unmute you. Oh. Tanya, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. It's a top.
Okay, great.
There you go.
It sounds wonderful. I wanted to ask if the way that you get involved is you go to the wef.org.in and fill out the speaker form. I'm looking for the speaker form and I can't find it on there, so I'm wondering
actually,
if there's
the wef.org
link there that we...
Okay, that does not have the link. So when I add you to the WEF USA, you'll find the speaker form there. So what I'll do is
So how do we get added to that?
I have all of your names, and so I'm going to add you. Miles sent me all of your names, and so I'll add you to the WEF.
Well, I think you got the names when they registered. Yeah, because I didn't.
Right. Oh, okay.
Now, are you talking that's going into the Facebook group or into your database? I'm just trying to follow where it's at.
So what happens is this. I do not take your name and put it into my database. It is only used for WEF. And so if you choose to actually friend me on Mamie's events, then you become part of my database. But WEF, it's not sold to anyone. It is specifically used for dissemination of information for WEF. The speaker information is basically to get an idea of who you are, so that when we write the recommendation to Dr. Harbeen, she has specific things that she's looking for. And I've written quite a bit of recommendations, so I've got a format for it that I pull off the speaker's form.
Okay.
Okay, and then the assessment that you'll do, it only is used for communication purposes.
So many of you also have, I've talked with about the system called Bank Code. It's a personality assessment test. Mamie's also one of their speakers. And I do Bank Code with Mamie, so I'm on her Bank Code team. So it's a great communication tool, and it just helps her learn how to talk to you in a with language that's going to make sense to you and resonate with you, versus talking to everybody in her language, which is nurturer. As if anybody didn't yet guess, she's a high nurturer. Actually, aren't you what do they call it? Savant, not savant. When you're equal in all the categories. What is that called? Divergent. Aren't you divergent?
No, I'm actually 25 nurturer, and then the rest is 24. But my
okay, so not
personalities are pretty close.
Pretty much divergent.
Yeah.
Pretty much divergent.
That just means that I've been practicing bank longer than most people. How's that?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. What other questions have come up? Did I answer that question for you, Tanya and Carrie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So let me just ask it so that the fee is $500, and that covers lunch and dinner and tours.
And tours.
Okay.
And your
and the conference.
And the conference. Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's 100% of that is just so the 500 is your conference free, but Egypt has thrown in all the other stuff, like because they really wanted to show people who are attending this the country, so they didn't do that in India.
No.
Yeah, India didn't do that. The 500 was just for the conference.
Yeah, in India, we took care of going on excursions to like the Taj Mahal and things like that. For Egypt, they've included it in your conference fee. It's affordable.
Wow.
You know, and so there's 3 breakouts for hotels. The Ritz-Carlton is $283 if you go in single, but if you go in with another person, I believe the cost is not as expensive. That's $283. And then they have a Marriott that's close by. That one is $160 a night. And then they have another hotel that's close by. It's called the Sturgeon Burger. It's $140 a night. And a lot of the women.
And the other thing that all the women went in, like, roomed with each other, so they kept their cost way down. There was like some of them were like 4 women to a room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think this year because they have a whole different size bed, and their size bed is equal to a twin. And so, and so we only went with 3
so
people.
Probably not sharing any beds.
Kind of difficult to share a twin bed there. So we went with 2 twins and then a rollaway. And the hotels that we did, it was really nice. I mean, you know, the Ritz and the Marriotts, when you go international, those are usually top of the line. Okay.
I know the Ritz is.
Because I want to honor your time.
What's that?
That's awesome. Do you know about Gertrude Matash doing her story, which is gathering of women all over the planet as well? Have you heard of that?
What's the organization she represents?
Her Story.
Her Story. I don't know.
Instead of history, it's Her Story.
Okay. I know that there is, you know what? I may have heard of Her Story, and there's another one, Global Women's. There's a Women's Economic Forum that is pretty large impact. They have big footprints in the international market. I believe WEF was one of the fastest growing. I believe they got 100,000 women within a 5-year period. So they were, but no impact in the United States. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
But they just had a conference. They had their first conference outside of India, right? It was in Los Angeles.
For US, yes. We had one in Los Angeles, one in Dallas. And then there's a gal, Lauren Powers. She's out of Huntington Beach. So she was like Miss Huntington Beach power player. And
Power lifter.
power lifter, sorry. And so I do a lot of interactions with our local market because I'm spearheading the US chapter for Mission Millions. So our group personally must get or interact or connect 100,000 women by 2022. And how we ended up getting that is we bid on a dress. You saw the yellow dress I was wearing, that yellow cape? That was one part of a dress. Dr. Harbin auctions off her dresses to people, and instead of purchasing it with money, you purchase it with membership. And so the US team promised 100,000 by 2022. And right now, to date, we only have less than 5,000. So we've got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do.
So is this something?
Awesome. Caitlin, oh, she popped off already. Caitlin said, I have to pop off to another networking room. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Okay, just making sure she didn't have any questions.
Someone did.
Yeah, so I was just going to ask if this is something we can invite other women to.
Absolutely.
Okay, and how do we do that? Because this sounds fabulous, just saying.
So what we'll do is once we get you in the group, we'll start putting together weekly or every other week meetings. And you can also, we've recorded this, so you can also send out the link for the recording.
Okay.
Okay. And then basically what's going to happen is as the speaker forms come in, then we'll get them connected. And then we'll put together a group call for any questions. And then we have people who are already in the group that have attended a couple of the India trips. So they'll be also available to answer questions and guide you if you need it.
Okay, great.
Okay. Cool. Anything else? Was this valuable?
Yes, this is amazing.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool. I mean, there's so many different groups that are doing things like this, but the two that stand out to me are the Her Story and this one, because it's really putting it all together so you don't feel like you're trying to do it by yourself. It's an awesome thing.
Thank you. I'm going to go
Thank
ahead
you
and
so
look
much,
up Her
Mamie. Thank you,
Story.
Miles, for thinking of us.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Well, there's some of the things that I was really impressed with when the first group of women went over was not only, I mean, they truly came back changed women. Like it was visibly obvious that the experience had changed their life. Like they were, it was just very empowering for them. And then to hear that, like the one woman that Mamie was talking about, got invited back by the parliament to speak, and there was another woman. I don't remember if she was with the U.S. group of you, but somebody was invited down to South Africa to talk about something that was going on with women's rights. I can't remember who that was, but
Yeah, I had
so I mean, just the international
they go all
recognition that,
over.
yeah, just because this isn't a paid speaking engagement, the people that you meet worldwide and even just locally in the US Facebook group, I just can't see it being anything other than beneficial when everyone's getting together to, help each other succeed, just like what we're doing in PBI. So
Yeah.
even if, like I said, even if you don't want to speak and you don't go to Egypt, you may want to speak one day, and it doesn't hurt to, start networking with other women across the US, and probably there's some in the Facebook group that are from other countries, right? I'm guessing.
I
Yeah,
belong
so-
to a group that's called the Silver Tent, and it's women all over the world. So.
Oh, I belong to that group.
Oh, well, look at that. So
Cool.
I'm in Silver Synergy and do some of the teaching in that group and have done some of the teaching in that group. So
Very nice.
yeah, it's awesome. Awesome group to see women
Good.
getting together like that. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, the next step
So if
then
nobody
is
has any other
invite
questions,
you.
we'll go ahead and stop the recording, and then so you have everybody's information to invite them on Facebook, or do you want me to get everybody's like Facebook profile and shoot it over to you, or
as long as they actually registered, then I'll be good. Then we're good.
I think everybody on here registered with the link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they registered, then I'll know exactly who. I think there were a couple of people who tried to register, and for some reason it was already locked down. It shouldn't have
Yeah,
been,
it was
but it was.
saying, right. Somebody,
but it's okay.
she was offline the rest of the day. She didn't get back to me. So
Early bird
I'll
got
shoot
the
her
worm
over
on this one.
What's that?
The early
Yeah.
bird got the worm on this one.
I know.
Awesome.
I know
So what I'll
somebody,
do then is next step, I'll send out the link to all of you. I'll add you to the Facebook group, and then I'll direct you to the speakers form and to a link so that we can get your communication styles. And then it'll be open for questions. The one thing that I'm going to encourage you to do is this: it doesn't cost you anything. And the worst that can happen is that you walk away with feedback on actually creating and delivering your intro or a signature talk that you can then expand on. We're not just looking for a one-shot deal. We're looking for literally what is your message and what do you stand for? So I don't ask people, what do you do anymore? I ask them, what do you stand for? That's a big difference. And so I leave you with that. When you want to know who the person is, don't ask them what they do. Ask them, hey, Miles, what do you stand for? And it's amazing because when I asked that to Miles, Miles goes, whoa. And when he started literally putting together what he stood for, it gave a very different meaning than what he did. Make sense?
Oh, very
And so
much
those
so.
are the little things that we're
Mhm.
going to share with you on the page. And sometimes we'll do challenges. And the challenges are to actually build where you are, where you want to go, and what you want to do, and how you want to share it. I always say, what bus ride are you going to take with us? There's always a destination. It's how quickly we're going to get there, or what points of stops are we going to deviate to before we get to that destination. And it can change at any time. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with me this evening, and thank you, Miles. And
My
I
pleasure.
shall talk to you later.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Awesome.
You're very welcome.
Have a
Thanks
great
so
night.
much. Thank you.
Bye.